Alright, aka Patters, welcome back to the channel. We're going to be doing Top Cow Tuesday very soon. If you're not familiar with what a Top Cow is, or what a Tuesday is, well, you know, we all have good weekends, and sometimes, next thing you know, it's hump day, so positive. Hang out with me. I'm going to explain what Top Cow Tuesday is, the people involved, what it really means, and how it relates to another regular drop on this channel. Let's go. Alright, aka Patters, we're getting to it. I literally did about 10 takes for that intro. It was 30 seconds. And that's still too long for an intro. I really like them to be around 15 seconds. Welcome back to the channel. Before we get any further, can you subscribe? You know, give me a little comment, maybe a little thumbs up. Just do something to fight the algorithm, because we're trying. We're working very hard, guys. But hey, here it is. My discussion with you. Top Cow Tuesday. Top Cow Studios is what I consider to be the true Image Comics of Image Comics. Of the Image 7, it's really Image 6. Maybe with Liefeld leaving, it's Image 5. Maybe Image is just Eric Larson and Todd McFarlane at this point. But at one point, they were hemming and hawing. They were on all cylinders. You had Jim Valentino rocking and rolling with everything. The others, not really. It was all Shadowhawk. We just wanted Shadowhawk, but he gave us the others. Todd McFarlane, Spawn, tries a Cygor series, tries a Crow series. His publishing masterpiece is Kiss Psycho Circus, but relatively McFarlane is just Spawn. And right now he's just Spawn. Eric Larson just pours his love into comics, goes through an amazing Kirby era, with issues, I believe it's 75 to 100 with Savage Dragon, but then eventually evolves into a Corn Star book. Savage Dragon is just the worst thing on the comic book shelves right now. It is PORN. With that, moving on, Rob Liefeld comes and goes. You know, he says he left Image. The Image guys say he got kicked out, but he brings all his books. So what's really left at that point? And it's really Top Cow, because Mark Silvestri was going to leave Image, but then he went back, so we're going to talk about that, but that's way down the road. What we're going to do on Top Cow Tuesday is not only document and bring to you the individuals that came through the studio, we're going to go deep into the books you kind of forget about. That's right. It's not just going to be Witchblade, Darkness, and Cyberforce. It's going to be Arcanum and Ascension and the original issues of Fathom before they went into Aspen. And along the way, we have some Top Cow fans. Guys like Fatal J, who inspired, who pushed me to do Top Cow Tuesday. But I can't just do Top Cow Tuesday without discussing Wildstorm Wednesday. So Wildstorm Wednesday is going to be moving into a 2.0 phase, which is going to parallel everything that we do here on Top Cow Tuesday, because Mark Silvestri and his gang and Jim Lee and his gang, they were all one studio and they were all parallel at one point. And then little tiny weird things happened and they splintered off. And who is the victor and who wins? Believe it or not, Mark Silvestri and Top Cow crushed Jim Lee and Wildstorm Productions. And the reason for that is because the books were better. The artwork in all, as an aggregate, was better. The coloring was better. I believe Top Cow, next to McFarlane, because McFarlane was really, dude, they were rocking and rolling with the design work, with the graphic design for a lot of those Spawn issues. Top Cow, like number 2. Top Cow, the second best design work of all the Image guys. But Top Cow developed an attitude and an idea, and it was amazing. So we're not just going to do the comics, we're going to be doing trading cards, statues, action figures. We're going to dig around the internet, try and find as much information about the failed Cyberforce pilot that at the time would I believe we could have had 3 Saturday morning image cartoons, with Spawn being HBO at midnight, but we had Savage Dragon on the USA Network, we had Wildcats, and we could have had Cyberforce, and believe it or not too, we also could have had Young Blood. What the heck was Shadowhawk doing at this time? But no. And we're going to focus on the talent that came up and came through whilst Top Cow. Meaning guys like David Finch, Michael Turner. Michael Turner is connected to Talent Caldwell. David Finch. Did I say David Finch already? David Finch will be a big focus of ours because, in my opinion, everyone likes to go to Charis taking over for Jim Lee in Wildcats. But the true passing of the torch, outside of McFarlane passing the torch to Greg Capullo, who is the greatest Spawn artist of all time, David Finch brought a level of Top Cow into Cyberforce. And in my opinion, there was no lag, and he did prop that title up on covers alone. But we're going to go into the career of David Finch, into the modern day, and we will be doing that with a lot of the Top Cow talent, because the people that came through Top Cow, they're still in the industry today, they're still rocking and rolling. And here's the crazy thought that we're going to kind of hit home with Top Cow Tuesday. Top Cow's books then was a long time ago, superior by far to what's happening today, today's industry, today's books, today's quality. And Top Cow itself fell victim to that. We'll be comparing Witchblade volumes 1 and 2 and things like that. So there's a lot to look forward to. Oh, and you know, to build momentum, we got 2 Top Cow packages right here. We're going to unbox these together, but not now. So get ready for it, aka Padders. Top Cow Tuesday is coming. That's what she said. Let's go. Alright everyone, before we go, for the first episode of Top Cow Tuesday, I thought I would showcase the starting point. So we're going to go through this is my entire comic book collection, library, whatever you want to call it. We're going to pull all of my Top Cow and Top Cow alumni books, and I just want to show them off to you. I think we should build a foundation, because what's to come is a complete filling of the Top Cow library in all of its forms. Trading cards, action figures, statues, hardcovers, comics, trade paperbacks, and we're going to make a giant capital investment filling out the Top Cow library part of this collection. And the reason why I think it's important is because we're going to go through levels of discovery. We're going to discover veins that we didn't know were there. We're going to read things and get re-familiar with things, and interviews that we thought were true or good, they're going to turn out to be not. This is just the course. I went through a lot of this with Wildstorm Wednesday, which is also one of the reasons why we're rebooting Wildstorm Wednesday also. So hopefully by the time you guys see this video, the next day will be a Wildstorm Wednesday, and we can kind of get these 2 companies and these 2 long form studies aligned, and you guys can kind of bounce back and forth. So let's get to work. Alright, AKA powders. A little bit of work there. So here's the stack. Let's just get this stack. And we will, yes, we will hit the drawing table. We will go through this. Little bit of a stack. AKA powders. I can, the pro and con already. Just give me 1 second. I'll get right into it. Alright. It's going to take me all of my strength to lift this up. But this is our starting point. We're going to hit the drawing table. I just want to go through this pile, re-familiarize myself. Previously, we did do the Marvel Top Cow crossover, Devil's Reign. I'm not even sure if I did the half issue, the 1.5 issue that came through Wizard with my review on that. Yeah, link of that down below. The pro is the stack is a lot thicker than I would have said. The con is I don't have hardly enough of a showcase of Mark Silvestri coming out of the... let's just go through a stack of comics like we always do. Alright, AKA Padders, let's get into this stack. People, friends, family, Romans, it feels good to be showing you guys some comics at the drawing table again. I feel like it's been a little bit of a gap, but we've just been busy with a lot of these other videos. Beginning, like, this is like episode 0 of Top Cow Tuesday. How are we starting? Guys, Codename Strike Force. This was the one book back in the day that I read more of Codename Strike Force more than anything. Cyberforce, we can kind of all agree that when it comes to the image swap, Cyberforce 8, that Tom McFarlane's issue of Cyberforce here and Mark Silvestri's issue of Spawn was the swap. Okay, those were the winners. Everything else, but fantastic stuff here. So we got Cyberforce 8, 9, 10, 8, 9. Look at these covers. And these ones are different too. I didn't realize that 10 had 2 covers. I didn't even realize I had them both. Very cool. And I think this is Huntsman. This is Chris Claremont's character. I wish I was versed on like the entire Cyberforce arc. Mark Silvestri sketchbook. So I guess like I'll announce it here, right? Or we'll talk about it here. Look, Cyberforce animated series, loving it. But I'm trying to get some decent pencils of Mark Silvestri to ink live, so we can do almost like a Top Cow Tuesday late night. This sketchbook has some good ideas for what I can do. The problem with Silvestri though, and here's the crazy thing, as crazy skilled of a draftsman that he is, there's not a lot of sketch scans or the presentations. He doesn't have a lot of sketch work out there, which is like, you know, a little bit striking. F5, right? F5 is not Top Cow. F5 just keeps popping up, so that we removed that. We previously did Devil's Reign, and I absolutely love Devil's Reign. Here's just showing off some of these covers. I mean, come on, like how good was Michael Turner? I love the people that crap on him now, that act like he didn't contribute. Everything changed with Michael Turner. So this was a little bit like these 2 issues. I did get these. I think I got these out of a dollar bin. I wanted to do these issues because I was going to highlight at one time. Yeah, it's only this one. Dane Green here. He did pass away. And Mr. Green was essential in working with Silvestri to kind of keep up with the X-Men's insane schedule at this time. Like, absolute insane schedule at this time. And I do believe Dane Green helped define later what became what we would like kind of hook in on as the Marc Silvestri style. But yeah, when you're doing straight storytelling and you have to draw this much and you have this many different characters, like, you need a good backup. You need a great number 2, and Dane Green was it. So that's an upcoming video too. And to kind of get into the career of Silvestri, and I'm so upset I don't have, like, I should have a full stack of this era of X-Men. I really should. But we kind of forget sometimes that Silvestri did float through Marvel doing projects, and this is where he's done these layouts. And at one time I was planning like a retrospective arc of like the early Marvel Silvestri going all the way into his Top Cow work. Because I think at this point, it just needs a lot of things need to be said, a lot of things kind of need to be documented. But you can tell from his layouts, like he tells the story. A lot of this perception of him not being able to tell a story changes with Image, but realistically speaking, no one ever gave the Image guys credit for storytelling. Even though like their version of it was boiled down. All right, F5, get out of here. This was, I'm not 100% sure. Is this Pat Lee? Yeah, Ron Mars and Pat Lee. The one thing that should be said about the future arc of Top Cow as a company, as a publisher, Ron Mars, really from DC's Green Lantern, and he did a great Green Lantern run. Ron Mars became the later architect of Top Cow, and Ron Mars had his writing fingers in every single pie that Top Cow had at the time, outside of Fathom and outside of some of these other like smaller miniseries. But when it came to Cyberforce, Darkness, Artifacts, Witchblade, Ron Mars was in there. Dave Wool was in there too. You know, and Pat Lee is a contentious subject, to be quite honest. There's people that absolutely love him, that hate him. A lot of these pages, again, like there might be some people out there that don't believe it. These pages are drawn like real size. You know, but Pat Lee really became prominent when he kind of perfected the finishing process. Meaning, like when Pat Lee was on your book, the book looked a certain way. Like no matter what, it looked like there were stills from a anime cartoon. As he marched on career-wise, that look got more and more degraded. I think individuals just stopped working with him. But at one time, like if Pat Lee was on your book, you would get a certain style, which is why it's important, you know, for him to get recruited for Cyberforce. So we'll just put that in the Cyberforce stack. Tom Judge, here we go. Paul Jenkins over here. You know, he's one of the minds behind Darkness. And Clayton Crane, who's really kind of, you know, in his McFarlane era here. These are good books, guys. This is a series that is not discussed, and we will be going into this. I don't know when, but this is like on my list of other series to jump on for Top Cow. And here we go. We have Fathom, Witchblade. Look at the Turner. So we will have like a Turner stack. We'll kind of put them in this order. Yeah, and this was you know, shout out to Fatal J, because he popped into one of my streams and reminded me, like brought to my attention that Fathom was a Top Cow book for its initial drop. Like, look at the detail for this. This is just insanity. Again, when did this book come out? 1998, and it's better quality than what came out today. Isn't that nuts? I mean, it's okay to buy comics to look at them. There's nothing wrong with that.
aka Padders. Buy books, look at them. Who cares? Alright, so we have that. So we kind of have like a little bit of a couple different stacks. So I'm trying to organize as we're going along too. So yes, Cyberforce #1. We need Cyberforce #1. We need here we go. Codename Strike Force. This is the Doctor Strangelove homage. Fantastic. Here we go. The incentive embossed. Only the big boys have these. There we go. We got here. Sideblade She. This is the first appearance of Witchblade, I believe. We can verify that, right? Let's verify that. We'll put this in the Witchblade stack. Yeah, and this is the stuff I always enjoyed about Silvestri. Just the way he just simplifies the building, and the shadows just are just dropped in like perfectly. Again, like here too. Very simple building structures here, but it just works. But let's get into it. Where is our girl, Witchblade? There she is. First appearance. So awesome. That goes into the Witchblade stack. Medieval Spawn, aka Padders. Garth Ennis, Brandon Peterson, and guess what? I cannot say anything about this series. I am not educated on it at all. Like, at all. Peterson, though, at this point, he was like drawing the best hair in comics. Absolutely the best hair in comics. These action figures, yes, we will be unboxing these. So we'll put this at the bottom of the Witchblade stack. A lot of how you organize your books is, says about like you. It says a lot about you and your personality. Hunter Killer. So again, Mark Waid, Kenneth Rockenfort, just kicking ass. And the best thing about this book too is, like, if you didn't know any better and you just like bought it based on the cover, and you kind of like flip through it on your way up to the counter, like you would be happy that this is in the Top Cow universe. In my eyes, like, this exists in the Top Cow universe. It works visually. It works. More sunlight, like more daylight than we normally got at this time, but it doesn't matter. I really think it's there. Say what you want about Mark Waid, but usually everything that guy writes is there. It's top notch. So I'm a little concerned because I'm not sure if I added this when I did my Devil's Reign. When I did Devil's Reign with all of you, I don't think I had issue 1/2. I don't think I had this. Here we go. We got some great pencils here. You always this is like the sad part, is because whenever you see like a making of section, great design too, by the way, but whenever you see like pencils like this, you always want more. Like, you turn the page and you're like, yes, give me more of the process, and you just don't get it. All right, so Devil's Reign, we'll go right here. 21. I had multiple issues of this entire series, so many more times, and I never made it through them all. Never did. So I cannot speak on this, but this is why we're doing Top Cow Tuesday. And this is great because a lot of you can go back and see what my initial thoughts are on the entire Top Cow landscape. Nice design work here. Like, look, this is design work, but it's completely finished. Look, Scraps card. Look at this design. This is a great design. So 21, we'll just put Hunter Killer. And also, if you guys did notice or see or take note, JLA Cyberforce, Joe Kelly, Doug Mankiewicz, right? Doug is still with DC. He's still doing DC work. Banger artist, an artist. He just draws and tells stories. Quality ebbs and flows as you should. But he's a worker, and he's just one of the great industry guys. But look at that cover by Silvestri. So we'll just put this at the bottom of the Cyberforce stack. All right, and then we have 9 and 10 of Strike. Do we have doubles of Strike Force? No. Here we go. Awesome. Look at that. It's just fun. Like, that's a part of Top Cow. It's like so much of this stuff is just effing fun. So this was the part of that Silvestri retrospective I was planning to do. And I did want to highlight his Hulk work, because he was impactful, and you know, him coming on moved the book, and it did get people excited. So we will put that with the Mark Silvestri stack over here. Now this one I was curious, the Devil May Cry. I don't know if this was Top Cow or not. It's Michael Turner cover, Pat Lee again. See what I mean about at one point? A lot has happened with Pat Lee since this, and then since that issue of Cyberforce we were just flipping through. You would get a particular finishing quality, an expectation of what the page would look like with Pat Lee. And I want to say maybe this is Dreamwave. It's Dreamwave. All right, this is Dreamwave, but we will, you know, we have to keep this in the Turner stack. So this is one of my, this might be like my favorite like non-universe Top Cow book. I'm not sure what books like fall into the Top Cow universe, which ones doesn't. I'm pretty sure this one doesn't. But Inferno had such a good plot, and the plot really was a bunch of soldiers. They find like a gateway to hell, and essentially they have to go in, and they get this like strike force. But once they're inside hell, they have to close the gate. The gates are only closed from the inside. But look at the coloring for this. Yeah, and this was just a great idea. And, you know, I guess your boy Zach took some of this idea for one of his Jawbreaker stories. Cyberforce 7. There we go. Hunter Killer 0. Very nice. Mark Silvestri here again. And if you look at those, like that X Factor issue with the layouts, and you look at those X-Men issues, you see more panels. You see everything more condensed. But a middle ground must be struck sometimes. And you see here, like look at this. We're on the farm. We got the mountains. We got the silhouette of the cows. We know where we are. We got Mama over here. We got Papa. Look, there's still, you know, there's still some blood in their veins. They're embracing each other. And look, their son comes home. Son comes home. Like, we can tell the story here without reading. And this is where, this is what you call storytelling. This is storytelling. I will push back against anyone that acts like that these books didn't put story first, because they did. Top Cow, Tin Soldiers, guys. The premier Top Cow miniseries, Tin Soldiers, over here in trade paperback form. Cyberforce, rocking and rolling, coming up. So we'll put that here. Fusion, look, I got this for 50% off. It was $15. I'm not even sure if I got my money's worth. When I originally unboxed this, I said it then. Look, Cyberforce, Hunter Killer, Avengers, Thunderbolts. I'm so curious about this crossover. I really want to get into it. And look, they were pushing Hunter Killer at, I guess like Hunter Killer is Top Cow universe, right? Because they're with Cyberforce in that. Aphrodite, this was, like after this, when David Finch went to Marvel Comics, like you were excited. You were excited for him doing something with Marvel, leading into like a complete disappointment of him becoming a DC guy. Really cool stuff. Aphrodite is top notch. With Witchblade suffered a little bit of that SJW correction. I always loved this cover. Silver Surfer and Weapon Zero. Like, jeez, look at that. Tales of the Witchblade. God, we have a lot of Devil. There was a time where, like, probably about 2 years where I was just doing nothing but buying Devil's Reign whenever I came across it, hoping to complete that storyline. Another banger cover by Silvestri. I always like this cover too by Finch, Cyberforce. So this is look, talking about we have to make a comic. Look at all the inkers here: Chris Hack, Jamie Mendoza, Alan Martinez, Sean Parsons, Eric Benson. Pencils: Kurt Van Wormer. He was just one of their workhorses. His workhorses were like the Top Cow guys that were able to get the pages out. Far superior over the Wildstorm guys that had kind of like the same mission or the same job description, we'll call it. Ascension here too, everyone. This, if we go into Ascension, we have to get into some of the angel wings. The angel wings for Ascension, and you see a little bit more of them at different times. Some of the best angel wings in comic book history were here. And look at all that splatter. White splatter, black splatter. It just looks completely chaotic and ununiform, but it just works. And this, you give this to Finch, because Finch is putting in these blacks. He's blocking it out for the inker. See what I mean about the wings though? Great hair also. Like great. Like this is the Brandon Peterson effect. People, like everybody wanted to do someone with this like Art Nouveau hair. Witchblade 17. How you just not love that cover? Just flipping through this. So we're 17 issues in, and Turner is still banging out amazing layouts. Turner's layouts, say for example, like this spread here, we see kind of like the Turner effect, and it kind of somewhat became the Top Cow effect. But here's, like, look at these. Look how similar the pages are. And that's working within the studio. And it's not people copying one another. This is what you would call a house style, a house presentation. I just wish a lot of you in the indie guys out there followed suit for your own books. But you guys really don't do that. You really don't. It's okay to look at something amazing and copy the hell out of it. Ballistic #1, Michael Turner's intro, right? I think this is his intro into Top Cow. And we have to kind of present the argument, and we will for one of the crossover episodes, is who had the better introduction, Michael Turner or J. Scott Campbell? I will say Turner. But we'll make that argument. Cyberforce 4. Always in love with this cover. The big reason why I love this cover is it's an issue 4 with absolute gimmick, but the gimmick is perfect. The gimmick works. Dude, I love that we have a stack of Strike Force. Another Michael Turner, right? Michael Turner's on pages 1 through 13 here. This is what I mean. Like, Turner's style shifts. He grows, but at the same time, his starting point is way beyond a lot of what came. So this is a little bit what I mean about the Top Cow correction. I did plan a video of kind of like the fall of Witchblade, of how Witchblade just became like this essentially. This is the latest issue too, by the way, guys. Witchblade kind of like this is how it started type thing, and then like this is how it's going, and technically this is how it's going too. So just like the desexualization, everything getting toned down. No more boobies, no more butt. Here we go. So new X-Men, Morrison. So this, I pretty much for a while, and I have to go through the newer Dark Knight book that Silvestri did. I believe this is Silvestri's strongest, best, most collaborative, bringing in all of his elements and resources. This is his best work. This is greater than anything Jim Lee has done. This is greater than anything McFarlane has done. These issues of X-Men, they are perfect in their penciling, inking, storytelling, paneling, coloring. The coloring is absolutely jaw-dropping for this. We get into the context. It's a great story. Some of this echoed into the later years of X-Men, but it's still kind of like, again, it's a Here Comes Tomorrow. It's a somewhat, this is Morrison's Days of Future Past, okay? And yes, this is better than the original Days of Future Past. So it's in continuity, it's out of continuity. That's what makes it so perfect. Killer Instinct. This is why we do Top Cow Tuesday and Wildstorm Wednesday, because the two studios for a while were connected like this. This is our definition of that. And we have, look at everyone just like hanging out at the original Homage Studios. Oh, we got, look, cosplay here. Some chick dressed up as Voodoo. Silvestri, rocking and rolling. The guy. Jim Lee, Mark Silvestri, Scott Williams. I mean, come on, Brandon Chow. Guys, Brandon Chow, unsung hero. Unsung hero. Joe Chai Ito. Alex Garner, Scott Clark here. R.I.P. Scott Clark. We love you, buddy. You're great. Just non-stop hot stuff. And as I forget, look at Brett Booth. I kind of forget is Trevor Scott. I thought maybe Turner was featured, but I guess not. And then we have this was a character that was teased. This is Rival, right? Teased by Top Cow, never to kind of come out of it. And look at this Weapon Zero ad. Dude, so a lot of lettering like this back during this time. These were probably plugins, and you had to kind of spend some decent money, but they were plugins for like Photoshop and Illustrator. And trust me, guys, it was a big deal that you would be able to do 3D lettering without endless layers. And having a plugin able to do this, and like pretty much the plugin would have its own like type, meaning you couldn't just 3D anything, not like you can now. But you had to be careful about like what you could do. And yeah, I mean, it's just fun to see it there. A sign of the time for sure. And look at this. This is just like sketch work here, guys. I don't think this is production work. Joe Benitez, rocking and rolling. Just really nice, strong stuff. Well worth the money if you guys can find one of those. Cyber Force 3 Killer Instinct Gold. So speaking of Finch, for the alumni episodes, we will be doing what I consider to be Finch's absolute masterpiece, Ultimatum. Masterpiece on two levels, guys: story and art. David Finch's texturing for this alone, the texture, like you guys have to be able to see some of this. Like again, we talked about this in our Captain America video, some of the chainmail. Great wings here for Angel. I really do love Ultimatum. I really do. Look at Doom's, again, texturing. Look at Doom's face. Absolute. Love this. I love this, guys. Okay, so now we have, let's just maybe help for time-wise. Look, here's, again, earlier I said like the Art Nouveau hair. This is some of the Art Nouveau style that Joe Quesada popularized during the time. And Art Nouveau is kind of just like interconnecting shapes, shapes combining into bigger shapes, but with giant curvy negative spaces. Sign of the time back during like Toulouse-Lautrec, if you want to go back to France. Toulouse-Lautrec, Art Nouveau. Witchblade 2, Witchblade 3, Witchblade 5, Witchblade 6, Witchblade 7, Witchblade 8, 11, 12, 13, 14, Devil's Reign, 15, 18, first appearance, and number 1. So, guys, like, I would consider this a decent starting point. So, what we'll be doing, though, is a couple unboxings week to week before we even gear into getting into detail with some of these books and stories. And I'm building an absolute timeline of the publication history of Top Cow so we can address things from certain points. Thanks for hanging out. Love you guys.